Hi, it's Sarah from Taylor Making Health. Let me ask you a question. Do you work or live with any difficult people? Difficult, or shall I say challenging people? I bet you do. I know, I've had my fair share too. Sometimes those difficult behaviors can show up as people talking the loudest and only wanting to hear their own voice and nobody else's. Maybe it's the person who's really negative and finds fault in any idea you bring forward. Could be the person who loves to criticize everybody, especially for work that isn't their own. Or maybe even there might be somebody who's doing some undermining to your position or role. Many times we're thinking, I wish they would just retire already or find a new position or leave the country and move far, far away. But in reality, they're not going anywhere. So the first big thing I'm going to invite you to do is accept it. Accept that the difficult people are not going away. What I want to do in this video, though, is to share with you 3 strategies that will help you deal with them more effectively and better. Strategy number 1, gain perspective and understanding. Now, this might sound like a stretch, especially if you totally disagree with where they're coming from. I get it. However, what's really important is to start getting really curious on why they're approaching things the way they are, or how they arrived at their decisions or ideas or perspectives on, say, a work project. And one of the fastest ways that you can stay and maintain being in a curious state are by using softeners. And by softeners, I'll give you some examples that you can use. They're easy phrases that really help to diffuse the emotions and give you an entry point to maintain communication and rapport with the other person. These phrases include things like, I'm curious. I am curious is one of the most powerful ways that you can allow people defense mechanisms to drop and be genuine about it. So I'm curious, or it might be, may I ask you a question? Help me to understand is another one. So by using those phrases, and you'll notice the tone of my voice, it's very soft and very genuine because you truly are really wanting to see somebody's point of view. By doing this, again, you're going to help change and shift the rapport with the difficult person and start to see them in a different light. How else you can be using your curiosity is turning it inwards. So when I've been working with difficult people in my past, I like to see them as my pet. And what I mean to say is that's just an acronym for personal emotional trainer. So when I'm working with somebody and I get triggered with all those emotions, it's like, okay, hang on, Sarah, wait a second. What is it about what they're saying that I'm getting triggered with? And what can I learn from this situation so that I can communicate even better with them next time? So gain understanding and perspective is the first one. The second strategy is all about finding similarities versus differences. A lot of conflict in the workplace comes from differences, focusing on how they do things differently than you would. They've got a different way of being, a different approach, or even different values. This inherently just keeps that conflict going and keeps you stuck. So instead, with this strategy, start to find similarities. And again, this might be a really big stretch. So similarities in terms of maybe how you're approaching a project, perhaps similarities in the values that you share or past projects or work that you've done together in the past. It might even be going way back to basics and finding the similarities in hobbies that you might do, or how many kids that you have, or your favorite vacation in summer, you might have some similarities. So once you begin to start finding the similarities with another person, it's an opportunity to build rapport through conversation because you're getting to know them. And in the process of doing that, that label you gave them of being the difficult person begins to dissipate, and now you can actually really connect with the other person. And the third strategy, it's being courageous enough to have a conversation with the difficult person. Sometimes you just need to call a thing a thing. You know, if you're having challenges working with this person, I can pretty much guarantee they're having challenges working with you. So if you find that person annoying and irritating and frustrating, it could be their experience with yourself. So sometimes taking the higher road to help get to know this person and to find new ways to interact with one another. In the conversation, you can be asking questions like, okay, so-and-so, we've been kind of butting heads on X, Y, and Z. And what I really would love to do is find a way that we can work better together. So how can we specifically work better together? Or it might be, given that we've got 3 months left in Project X, and for us to be successful, what are the things we need to do to work collaboratively with one another? Here's what do you need from me? And then you'll have the opportunity to say, you know what, here's what I need from you. Having those kinds of conversations can help clarify things. And it's not about liking everyone you work with, but it's about being respectful and really kind. And most times, difficult people are only difficult because that's all they know. And so by having this conversation and opening up new ways to work with somebody gives them options. So remember, everyone is battling something of some kind. It's always important to be kind, always. And that remember that everyone is doing the very best that they can with what they have in any given moment. All right, so to recap the 3 strategies. Number 1, gain perspective and understanding. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Just try and see where they're coming from. Number 2, find similarities versus differences. Where are you two alike? Where are the similarities? And number 3 is be courageous to have the conversation with a difficult person to find new ways that you can work even better together moving forward. Tiny tweaks to how you think when consistently applied lead to extraordinary results. Thank you for watching.